So now, welcome back to Poultry Reels channel, to a brand new podcast. So, as always, joined by Vivo's Latitude, who I will be interviewing Poultry Reel in this week's podcast. So, as always, Poultry Reel has freedom of speech to discuss whatever topics he chooses to discuss. No judgments on this channel. Any feedback, leave down in the comments below. Any constructive feedback, let us know. But that's what we like, constructive feedback. No trolling, please, otherwise you'll be sent to Banville. Poultry Reel, the stage is yours, take it away.
Now, we're filming this the day after Halloween. Pinstripe suit for V. Wilson 92. Like Brian Rose, baby. So, the first topic, we're going to keep it short and snappy. And a lot of these podcasts, they are going to be political, but I'm going to try and remain as balanced as possible. So point number one, Reform UK Member of Parliament or MP, Sarah Poaching claims she is concerned about the number of black and brown people on British television adverts. And it doesn't represent the fact that over 90% of the UK population is white. You know, we've got to admit that most Europeans are indeed white. But Sarah Poaching is saying, but there's too many mixed race and brown people on British television adverts. That's not reflecting reality. They're overrepresented. And what we've got to realise, and the thing that really grinds my gears, folks, is this is all part of divide and rule. I know David Icke used to talk about this. It's a classic war tactic where politicians will divide their target populations on purpose, so we're constantly fighting each other. Look at Donald Trump. He calls the Democrats radical communists, and then the Democrats call Trump a far-right orange clown. So the popular always fighting each other. But it's amazing because with Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King, they would be rolling in their graves that Sarah Poaching and Donald Trump and other politicians are dividing their population. We're still talking about skin colour in 2025, but it seems to be 1939. It concerns me. But then again, you decide, is Sarah Poaching correct? Am I exaggerating? Should I be sharing soap with inmates in Banville? You decide. So again, Donald Trump has signed a trade deal with Japan, including a rare earth mineral deal and investment into each other's country. So is Donald Trump a genuine property developer capitalist who is seeking peace, prosperity and cooperation from the global economy? Or is Donald Trump again fooling around on the world stage? You decide. But I always like Japan because it's a great culture and they always bow to each other. It's a great culture. And then you've got this character, Donald Trump, on the stage. If you don't agree, I'll place a tariff on you. Although tariffs are paid for by American consumers, they're import taxes, remember. Keir Starmer has agreed an £8 billion military equipment deal with Turkey. So this was Starmer's opportunity on the world stage. I'm fighting for the United Kingdom. Look at me. I'm fighting for working people. Now this will benefit BAE Systems. They're making a fortune out of this Ukraine war and the war in the Middle East. Will it really benefit working class people? Probably not. But then again, you decide. Is Starmer a clown socialist, or is he championing the United Kingdom with other nations via free trade? I see both sides there, but you decide. Reform UK again. They want to change the personal independent payments, called PIP, one of the benefits over here in this country. Reform UK want to change PIP disability, the medical appointments from remote to face-to-face appointments. I completely agree. The pandemic is over. Get people's arses out of their homes. I mean, people only enjoy remote working because parents save on childcare fees. Let's be honest. So I agree with Reform UK on this issue. And I think it was Zia Yusuf who announced this. Brilliant. So they want to change the appointments to face-to-face whilst crashing the mental health bandwagon sick payments, because that has been completely exaggerated. we have teenagers now. I feel sad because my pet cat or my pet gerbil has died today. I'm not coming in. I feel sad. And that is the level we have sunk to there. So with Zia Youssef, who announced this, fantastic. If Farage and Richard Tice agree, we need to start scrapping this mental health bandwagon. Enough is enough. And in fact, I think V Wilson 92 agrees, one of the best remedies for sadness or mental health is getting our lazy arses into the gym. It really does benefit our physical, mental and spiritual health. But that's what Reform want to do. However, is this virtue signalling though? Because does this demonstrate that Reform UK are targeting the unemployed and disabled with these announcements, whilst bailing out the baby boomers with free bus passes, for example, funded by the Bank of England printing money? So I do understand how this announcement may look that Reform UK are hammering the disabled and the working class and the unemployed, whilst bailing out millionaires and the baby boomers with free bus passes. I see both sides to this, but you decide. Is Nigel Farage correct in creating a recent bill in Parliament to leave the European Convention on Human Rights, or the ECHR? Now basically it protects human rights in this country, but Farage and Reform UK say, the ECHR protects foreigners on these small boats. But does it also protect British people in this country? Because we actually created the ECHR and we are a part of it. You decide. So that's what Farage wants to do. And ironically, Vladimir Putin supports the UK leaving the ECHR. What does that demonstrate, folks? So Reform UK are reading the script of Putin and North Korea by destroying our relationship with our European neighbours. Brexit has destroyed our relationship with the EU. Very important. They are our neighbours, largest trading partners. Starmer has improved it a little bit, but if we do leave the ECHR, which was slapped down by the Liberal Democrats, we may as well stick two fingers up to the European neighbours and our good allies. But you decide there, folks. Donald Trump sending masked immigration officers and ripping families apart with these ICE thugs. Is that going to be happening over here perhaps if Farage wins the next election? You decide. And I think that's all the topics. V Wilson 92 summarise all of those thoughts. Do you agree, disagree?
So great discussions there, Paul Terrell. It's a very political podcast. As always, you can choose to agree or disagree with our views. So leave any comments down below. Let us know what you think. And it's interesting because I did see that discussions regarding that policy announcement regarding anxiety curves. What do you think about that, Paul Terrell? How do you feel about that?
I think this mental health bandwagon has been completely exaggerated. Technically I am a patient. I've been very transparent about my speech impediment. It is a mental disability, but do I curl up into a ball and cry myself to sleep, or do I practice what I preach and get my lazy arse into the gym, which I do every day? It's a great form of medicine. But it has been exaggerated when teenagers now, and we're both millennials, but the generation Z below us, my pet gerbil's died, I'm not coming in today. We've got to put a stop to that. So I think what Zia Youssef announced is absolutely right. And I think we've got to stop remote working because it limits people's ability to network with other people. We can't shake hands over a webcam, for example. Can you imagine a business deal taking place? What's the first thing? Nice to meet you, sir. How are you? Concluding a trade negotiating deal. Good to meet you, sir, with a strong handshake. We can't replicate that with a webcam. So I agree with that policy, but I also see the other side of the coin where Labour and the Liberal Democrats and the Green Party will say, but Reform UK, are they just targeting the poor and disabled again? whilst bailing out millionaires and the baby boomers free bus passes. You know, I try and be balanced as I can, but mental health bandwagon, it's got to go. It's exaggerated.
To summarise, as always, let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Any feedback is much appreciated. Nicely done, Paul Tenorio. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
And I'm going to be controversial. It's like with the ECHR. People didn't know what they voted for with Brexit. I voted for Brexit, but I never really understood what the single market was. So with the ECHR, be careful what we wish for if you want to leave it. Because if the British government with the Bill of Rights, that Farage ones, who can we appeal to? Is Sarah Poaching racist or not? You know, we are a diverse country. Maybe I'm just exaggerating. Maybe I'm woke. Maybe I'm a snowflake. But, you know, what Martin Luther King and Mandela represented was we're all equal. You know, we've got to start living in 2025, not 1939. Final thoughts, V. Wilson.
Again, nicely done there with the summaries. Interesting discussions. Stay tuned for this podcast to be premiering on Paul Tenorio's channel, guys.
I'm scaring you now, kid.
Question everyone and question everything.
Yeah?